Alright guys, how'd you like to save $100 every 15,000 miles with your Volvo S80 maintenance? In case you didn't know, every 15,000 miles you're supposed to change your cabin filter. Cute little filter inside the car, works in the air conditioning system. My local Volvo dealership charges $115 to change this thing. We're going to replace it in less than half an hour or so for about, I don't know, 20 bucks or so, or even less than 20 bucks. Your cabin filter is found kind of behind the glove box here on the passenger side of your car. At least in the S80 2001 models it is. Let's take a little closer look at that. I don't have any of the panels taken off, but right behind that light you can see a couple of Torx screws. Maybe hold a mirror here and kind of see what we're looking at here. There's one. And there's the other. We're going to remove this panel. Behind that panel there's a small compartment, another door that you got to remove. That's where the filter is. You basically pop it out, pop a new one back in, and replace everything. It's generally a pretty easy process here. The tools to do this job are pretty straightforward here. I've got a Torx 20-bit, Torx 25, small ratchet. You may not need that one, an extension and a little nut driver extension to work with the Torx bit. And of course you'll need a pollen filter here. There's a couple models out. This is a kind of the cheapy version. I got this from IPD USA. I'll give you guys a link later on. It was $11. I think they're about up to $35 or so for a higher end one. This is a carbon impregnated filter. It seems to work fine. This is probably the 6th or so one that I've put in my car since I've owned it here. But you can, you know, whatever your budget fits here. But at any rate, it's a tremendous savings at even $11. Let's go ahead and start, and we'll show you how to put this thing in. Don't even know why I'm taping this right here, but it's pretty simple. Just shove the Torx bit in and back these little screws out here. You will have to pull and tug this thing just a little bit. It's kind of wedged up in there, but just be patient with it and try not to break into the plastic parts. As these Volvos get older, plastic just loves to pop and snap and bust all over the place, which is probably going to happen to me here, but nonetheless, you'll get the idea of how to remove this thing in just a second here. I guess take it, give it a little bit of a tug, and out pops the plastic thing. Okay, now that the cover is off, we can see that that black panel there's one Torx bit, another Torx bit over there, and there's if I remember right, there's a couple in the back. You could barely see that guy, but he's buried deep in there. And I believe there's a fourth one in the back. This little line right here is the drain for the for the evaporator. Sometimes it will become clogged with algae and stuff like that. I have never had it happen to me on this car, but other cars I've had, you can just take that off right there and kind of blow it out or run some compressed air through it to knock any algae out of the way, should you ever run into that problem here. Alright, as you can see, the cover is off now. There were four of those Torx bits on there. These are T25s. The Torx to take the tan cover off was a T20. And there we have our filter, lo and behold, sitting up there nice and ready to get yanked out. Alright, I'm going to just go ahead and pull this thing out. I'm going to show you what the position is to stick it back in there, so just give me a second here. Okay, I just took this out, and we're back at the workbench here. The reason I want to show you this is notice how there's a tapered top to it. This is the way it goes in. This is the driver's side over here, obviously the bottom, top. You don't want to put it in this way. It won't fit, and of course it won't go in any other way here. Just keep it in mind that the smaller end, the narrower side, goes to the passenger. Give you an idea of kind of what you've been trapping here is some of the crud and dirt and pollen. That's all captured in here. This is really a pretty good idea to have these kind of filters in here. It keeps us from breathing this kind of nonsense, but like I said, every 15,000 miles you want to replace this thing here. Something I did with my panel here is on the back of the panel I drew with a black magic marker on what the orientation is, like I showed you earlier. I don't ever remember this thing, and I'll probably never watch this video again here. I just drew a picture on this thing, and I always know how this thing installs. Okay, Alright, when you install this thing, notice there's kind of two slots in here, one on the top and then one on the bottom. I guess one deeper in the car and one more towards the seat. This goes in the farmost slot here, the deeper of the two. So you're going to have to stick this thing all the way in the back here, not the front one. I don't even think it fits in the front one. Nonetheless here, we're just going to go ahead and put this filter in there. I'm gonna just wedge it in there, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. It's real simple process here. All right, we just slid it in here. It took all of about 10 seconds to do. You do have to kind of bend it and wedge it and pinch it. It looks like you're really ripping the thing up, but you're not. It's just the way that it goes in here. That's it. Let's put the black cover back on and the tan panel. One more thing. The screws in the back are real hard to get to. Well, not real hard to get to, but you can't see them very easily. Put the front screws in first. That will guarantee alignment on the back screws. That's it. 4 screws are returned to their place. Everything is securely fastened, so we'll put the outer cover back on and be done with this thing. Okay, that's it. It's back in there. I think I may have told you wrong. Those are Torx T25s. I may have said T20 inadvertently. Last but not least, don't forget to record the date and mileage in your service maintenance record book. Alright folks, that's it. I think I'm about 15 minutes into this job. Spent $15 or so on a pollen filter. Saved myself over $100 here, so it's money well worth spent. I rate this thing probably one of the easiest jobs you'll do in your car. The only thing is a pain in the neck is getting down on the floorboards there and digging those bolts out in the back, but if you've ever done any kind of maintenance on a car before, you should be able to handle this without any problem. Alright guys, happy motoring.